Hey, what's up, my surplus addicts? This is PMG Wanderer here. Now, we're going to be looking at obviously a namesake, iconic item of mine, the PMG gas mask. Manufactured in the Soviet Union sometime, I believe, late 70s to mid 80s. But let's go ahead and crack this bad boy open. I'm also going to show y'all some unique things I've found out about this gas mask regarding its ability to actually take NATO filters. I can already hear the the comments right now. So, first, let's go over the specifics of this gas mask. So, this is a size 2, which is something like basically a medium. Although these masks are somewhat small in their overall design, so it wouldn't hurt to, from what I've heard, to get a mask that's one size larger, and I think I can confirm that. Initially, it does kind of squeeze your face. Now, the intake valve is actually made of rubber. Now, you can kind of see some areas where I've had to repair it a little bit due to age and wear. That's kind of something to be expected with these gas masks. I mean, they are somewhat old, you know. Now, other than that, you also got a voice diaphragm right here, which is supposed to make talking, communication easier. Although, normally when I was in the forces, they usually taught you that it's best to use hand signals when in an environment like that. Although, it doesn't hurt to have the ability. Now, here's the exhale valve. Pretty simple piece of equipment here. Basically, when you talk, your air comes out, and then this piece right here closes right back to seal. Now, taking apart the voice diaphragm here, you'll see that all you got here is a little plastic thing here that your voice reverberates through. I'm not going to take it out because, well, I don't want to damage it or lose it. But you also have a strap right here behind the mask, which makes it easier for you to secure it to the head, which we will show shortly. Now, the inside of the mask is pretty much just pretty bare bones. It's pretty much just latex, with the eyepieces actually having some latex around them, since these kind of lenses are made to work really good with optics, such as scopes or binoculars. They really stick to your face very closely. So, having rubber around the lenses is pretty good for comfort, as well as stability. Now, on the back, or on the top, I mean, the back top, whatever, these are basically to help vent the mask, so that when you're wearing it, your head doesn't get as hot. It'll actually vent. In fact, it still gets pretty sweaty inside the mask. I can confirm from experience that when I wore it one time on a walk, sweat actually built up in my ears, and if I moved my head a certain way, I'd get sweat in my ears. It'll build up. It's tight. And it looks like from here you can see what I think is the date of manufacture, 1983. Excuse me, y'all. But yeah, this is a really good Soviet surplus mask. Personally, from my experience, I can say it keeps a really good seal. And this is probably not the best test in the world, but I was cleaning an oven, and I even put this NATO filter in, and I tested the seal, how the U.S. Army taught me, and it seems to hold really good. And whenever I was cleaning an oven, I was using oven cleaner. If you ever use that, I know this is ridiculous, but every time I breathe it in, it'd make me want to tear up. So I would wear my PMG here with my NATO filter, and I might insert a photo later, and it would actually protect me from the fumes. So I'm about to go ahead and put this bad boy on, and we'll see what it looks like. All right, and as you can see, I've got the PMG gas mask affixed to my face. If you can hear me really good, then that shows the voice diaphragm is working as intended. Now, as you can see, I got this, I believe it's a French NATO filter attached to my face, and I'll explain some of the specifics of that. It's probably a bad time, but I'll go into it. Soviet and NATO filters both use a 40 millimeter thread. However, the difference is the 40 millimeter of a NATO and a GOST filter, GOST, G-O-S-T, have a different length in them, I believe is what it is. Now, how this mask is able to take it is because of the rubber intake valve, which means that the mask will actually form to the filter's thread and will not break. It will just mold to it, and it'll still take a GOST filter. However, I do not recommend at all that you ever use a Soviet GOST filter. Those filters are extremely dangerous. They've been known to have asbestos, maybe some other nasty stuff in there. Now, of course, NATO filters can have stuff in them too, but much safer. Now, I would not recommend normally wearing these at all, unless, you know, you're comfortable with potential risk. So remember, if you buy a filter, they're usually novelties, they're usually a little outdated, although sometimes they might be able to work, you know, but I'm taking my own risk here. So be very careful. I repeat, be very careful when buying filters and using them. Now, as you can see, I've got the strap done up, and that's easy to basically fix. You just there you go. It's off. But you can keep it on, tighten it just to secure the mask so someone doesn't, try to take it off you. Now, let me get a little closer. Now, as you can see, if you can see my eyes, they're very close to the lenses. This is what I'm talking about. Your eyes are in a position in which you can use optics. Now, what that means is, let's say you're in a combat zone and you're using this. Supposedly the idea is that you can put the scope up to your face and actually return fire effectively. Whereas with most NATO gas masks, you run the risk of really not being able to use optics that good at all. You know, usually you're just kind of, that's what I observed. That's just my opinion. Now, let me go ahead and take this filter off. It's kind of weird putting this on with the mask on and taking it off. But, as you can see, it's possible. Now, as you can see, here's the intake valve. You notice how it basically goes out, then comes back in. That's what I was talking about with that earlier. Now, the mask is very skin tight. In fact, I'll go ahead and do an example of taking it on, putting it on. Putting it on, taking it off. Let me go ahead and do that for y'all. Now, it's actually easier to put it on, believe it or not, when it's sweaty. A little bit of knowledge there. However, putting it on whenever it's dry, different story. But this is how I do it. See, I keep it open like this. I put my chin right in the chin area, and then I do this. I just pull it back. Now, see, the intake valve kind of touches on your chest a little bit. That's going to happen. It's a very hot day, so that's what kind of downgrade a little bit. But, so essentially this gas mask, from what I can remember otherwise from what we've already covered, is that it's obviously made to work better in hot weather. It's made to work with optics. Now, there is another thing I did want to cover.
You can put an adapter in here, although most adapters are not very good. I mean, to be honest, I'm not sure the quality. You can put an adapter here so long term you can protect this, the intake valve, from getting destroyed. Because again, it's a very old rubber. However, it's going to put more weight right here on the side. I've tested this a little bit. It's going to put more weight. If it was down here, it might be better. But you're going to have to worry about the mask having weight right here when you're moving around and doing little army games, whatever it is you intend to use these masks for. I would really recommend using these as novelties only. But that's not to say if you don't want to use it, you don't want to use it. That's on you. But anyway, I hope this review has been informative, and I hope it's given you some ideas about what kind of gas mask you want to collect or, use whatever it is you're watching this for. However, I recommend you use these masks predominantly as just either, novelties, collection, or for just war games. Don't actually use them for serious purpose. Anything you do with this stuff, there's going to be a certain amount of caution, so I would recommend you be very careful. All right, my surplus addicts, well, that's about all the time we have for today, and if you want to see any items I'm potentially selling, you can always check out my Facebook page, Liberty Surplus, Foreign and Domestic. And other than that, that will be all today, and I hope you all have a good one. And please do not be afraid to give me some likes and subscribe. Have a good one.